it's your first time joining us, my name's Alan from Vancouver, here with Miss Helen Fong, the Toned at 50 queen herself, on our day 4 to talk about something really interesting to help you with your fitness journey, to help you get more results, to help you have a better, leaner, more toned body, more toned figure, with what we believe that you can have is total control over the way you look and feel once you know exactly what others are doing to get the results that they have, so you can have it for yourself. And who better to explain all that detail than Miss Helen Fong herself, the person who's gone from age 49 feeling like, hey, you know, I'm just a regular average mom, to what she always used to say, to one day saying, I don't want to feel like a regular average mom. And no disrespect to that concept. But some people, you know, they want more out of their bodies, and some do, some don't. So what, right? As the old saying goes. But for those that do, she has answers, because she was a non-believer for a whole year until one day she woke up in the mirror, looking at herself, really looking at herself, and going, holy crap, that's not a magazine, that's my body. What the heck? And that was amazing. The way she's lit up ever since, like I've gone through the journey with her, right? So I've seen her before and I've seen her emotions after, and to see her transform that way, we knew that this was not something that she was meant to just keep for herself. She has been literally driven to find ways to get this knowledge out to all the ladies out there, especially the ones that maybe thought, okay, it's too late for me. It is not too late. And she is living examples. She's living proof that it's never too late for anyone who's really determined to get the body they want. Which leads us to today's topic. Miss Helen, come on in. They're probably sitting there going, okay, Alan, we want to know what's going on. Oh yeah, well, we've got a winner, don't we? You picked a winner for Crochet, didn't you?
Yes, again, it was difficult, but thank you so much, ladies, to share your story, to take the chance and post first time or second time. Your story really touched my heart. It doesn't matter what it is. I mean, seeing you ladies go on video, seriously, it make both of mine and I believe Ellen's mission so much more meaningful.
Hugely.
And then you ladies are so gorgeous. I love your stories. It's just
yeah, amazing. You know what? It's hard to go to bed at night and not have a sense of gratitude and a sense of connecting with all of you who really take the time to share, because it baffles us. Like when we see all of you ladies, what we see regularly are just, you know, we see all you ladies. You're here to share with us and allow us to share with you. And then to hear your stories about your challenges and your struggles and how you've learned to overcome them and how you've chosen to take part here with us so it can help you more. I mean, it makes our mission so much more gratifying, and it makes us feel so much more determined to make sure we give you our very best for these next remaining days. Right, Helen?
Yes. I really appreciate your time and your effort. That means a lot to us. And you ladies are taking action. Absolutely. And I mean, what we give you, you already know your why. What we give you is just tools. When you know your why, I mentioned earlier, it's the most powerful thing, mindset. And the how is easy when you know your why, right? So the first day, that's why the first day, the homework was a little bit more deep, getting into, you know, your why. And second day, you know, a little bit preparation. And then yesterday was a little bit more tools, how to make the certain parts of your body that you wanted to beautify.
Right.
And today is this another tip that I discovered along my journey. At first, I have to admit, I wasn't a good student because I have limited beliefs. Grew up with doing one simple thing and that works. But then as we age, we change, we need to evolve. And because of that, I hold up limited belief with me. I have a lot of setbacks at the beginning. I didn't get the results I want. And then I have to figure what's holding me back. Why not? Then I started to open up a little bit more and actually believe the person in front of me who had walked the journey, and then results started to change. And this happens when in the gym at the beginning, in my first month or weeks prepping for my first competitions. I have cramps again. My muscles didn't. I drank water, I did everything, but still there was something missing. My muscles didn't seem to grow as fast. And again, of course, I have my limited beliefs in the past that I would not take anything else as recommended by my coach. Because family was, have a different standard. And again, as a mother who went through 3 pregnancies in my late 20s and early 30s, I was great with everything naturally. But then as we get older, I thought our body's the same. Little did I know, I didn't. And what happened when I didn't open my mind to other people's recommendations, and my results wasn't the same. So, and then of course, now whatever I have done didn't work. So I finally gave in and asked Ellen, and Ellen recommended, introduced me again to one thing that helped me boost my energy, the growth of my muscles, and it just felt better. And I didn't get as sore the next day when I do the same type of exercise. Before, my body would be so sore the next day, and it takes days, often sometimes a week to heal. But ever since he just introduced me and I was willing to listen, it made a huge difference. And in a day or 2, I was able to go back to the gym and start pumping. And so again, besides the whey powder, protein powder supplements, I was also introduced to other supplements such as vitamins or supplements that increase my muscle growth and sort of help with my muscle recovery. And also it gives me energy. I was introduced to BCAA. I believe Ellen will go into deeply. And also another BCAA, I believe it helps your muscle grow faster. And also another probiotic that helps me my digestion better. Because because when I started working out, you'll be consuming so much protein, and you need certain supplement in your body to break them down easily, right? So those 2 supplement I started to take, and it makes a huge difference in my body, the way how I function. I feel better, lighter every day. And that's one thing I wanted to share with you, lady, is the extra boost.
Right. And that's really important to know, because sometimes when we first start training, it's really common to feel overly sore. It's really common to feel extra tired for the next couple of days. Now, that's not always the case, and that's why we didn't lead our 7-day conversation with the talk about natural supplements, because not everybody needs them, right? But in certain cases, when you start to notice that as you progress in your training, when you start to build a regular regimen, if you're in that place where day 1, okay, I'm gung-ho, day 2, yeah, let's go, and then it's, day 3, 4, 5, starts to slump, and then it's hard to go back because of this feeling of overexhaustion. What usually is the case is that the body is now being pushed to another level of physical exertion, something that it's not used to doing in previous months or years. In order for any body to push itself to another level, which is what helps create the image of youth and a higher energy level and just better recovery, leaner muscles, it's when the body is pushed by demand in order to get to that next phase. The mind can be strong enough to just push the body, but that only works for so long. Eventually, the body's going to start yelling at us and saying, hey, I need some help here, because I know you want me to do all this extra stuff, but unless you're feeding me the nutrition that I need, I can only give you so much, right? It's like imagine your body is a Lamborghini. It's a very powerful engine, which we believe it is. And imagine that you're trying to run your Lamborghini on old motor oil and 87 gas versus the premium that it requires. I'm not a big car person. I don't know a lot about them, but I know enough that if you put 87 gas into a Lamborghini, you're going to start to notice really weird knocking noises, and that engine is eventually going to fall apart. And it's because the quality of the gas, it does not match the car's capability of output. And that's why you need generally speaking, you need a higher premium grade of gas. Well, your body works the same way. When we live a certain sedentary lifestyle, which many of us do, because we go to 9-to-5 jobs or we run businesses, many days, like nowadays, it's virtual online. The travel is less, the sitting is a lot more. So there's only so much nutrition our body demands from us on a day-to-day regular routine. But once you start incorporating either fitness, or if you're already into fitness, another level of fitness, we believe that every time you go up a notch in your fitness, you also need to give your body another notch of nutrition to support your body's ability to perform. Now, I want to say real quick that before we go on, sometimes people ask this of us, so I just want to say it up front. Please remember that we are not doctors. Okay? We're not sports nutritionists. Right? We are athletes, and we're athletic enthusiasts that have had the ability to test our own bodies, get our own results, and prove it on a stage in a public platform to show off what we can really do based on the knowledge we've accumulated. So everything that we're giving you is based on being athletics, the athletic experiences that we've had. If there's anything that you are uncertain of, always make sure you check in with your healthcare professional before proceeding with any of the information shared. Okay? Just have to put that out. Now, allow me, Helen, you're probably going to kill me for this. Please don't. I have to pre-warn her to save myself because I'm about to show you.
Authentic. Out of the wheel. It's fine. It's fine.
Thank God. Oh boy, please don't kill me because I'm about to show off that one. We haven't shown this before. And ladies, what I'm here to show you, I'm going to kill you now.
No. I have to be real, right? I am not perfect. I just discovered a few tips.
Fair enough. So here's what I'm about to show you. And let me give you a quick backstory so you understand why you're about to see this. I'm about to share with you one photo. And it was based on a conversation that Helen and I had while she was warming up for one of her training sessions in mid 2018. So this is well before she decided to get fully committed into transforming her body. She was working out. She was working out 2 to 3 days a week, very casual, which was good at the time. But supplements, as she's told you in previous calls, was a big no for her. Supplements as in condensed nutrition, okay? Condensed, not chemical-based stuff, not a prescription drug that you get from the doctor. I don't mean that. I mean natural, like when we're talking about vitamins, vitamin C, vitamin E, protein, which you eat from meat, but you can get in powder form, like consumable nutrition that's condensed, right? When I was telling her about that, she was constantly telling me, no, I don't need that. I don't want that. I have my ginseng. She had these ginseng pills that she got from Asia. And she was like, look, makes me feel so strong and energetic. I'm like, okay, cool, no problem. So that was fine. That was fine, right? But she was constantly complaining about the pains that every time she had to go up and down the stairs, she had to hang on for dear life in the rail because it was hard for her to walk after leg day. And one day when she was warming up, I looked at her and I said, hey, Helen, have you done something different with your nutrition lately? And she had basically looked at me like what she's doing now, kind of like, what are you talking about? Like she was confused. And she looked at me almost like, why are you asking me this? And how this relates to you, and it's a very common experience, so that's why we want to share it. I looked at her and I said, I could be wrong, but I think your body fat has actually gone up. And she looked at me like, how is that even possible? I'm working out 3 days a week. I'm working out very, very hard for those 2 days away. You told me to have more water. I'm drinking more water. You told me to have something to boost my energy, and I've got these ginseng pills. What more can I do? And I basically showed her, I said to her, you're starting to develop body fat on your arm, which for her was very unusual for me to see, because by then we had already been working together for about at that point 8 months, give or take, and she was coming in pretty regularly, so about 2 to 3 days a week. Like I'm very big on details, so if there's a slight adjustment in any of my athletes, I will see it. And it's because I've just been trained to look for the details. I'm sure you have too in many things in your life. And for me, it's noticing if my athletes are performing well, if they're underperforming, if they're gaining more muscle, if they're losing body fat, if they're gaining body fat. I don't always see it right away, but after a couple of times, trust me, I'll pick it up. I have to, right? 400 people later, I'd be weird not to notice these things. So she's on the warm-up machine. It's basically like an elliptical. She's leaning forward. And I pointed at her arm, and I said, "Helen, you're growing fat on your arm, and I've never seen that before." And she looked at me almost like I was crazy. Like, what are you talking about? She like leaned back, her eyes got all big, almost like I was, making stuff up.
Because my body weight was the same, or a little bit.
Right. And that's actually a really good point, because your body weight, like if you go on a weigh scale, your scale could be the same. Yeah. But if what you're consuming or how you're working out, if let's say this is body fat and this is muscle, if you're not eating enough good nutrients to support the training or the lifestyle of a lean body, the muscle can go down and the body fat can go up. At which point the weight on the weigh scale could be the same. So in Helen's case, she's always fluctuated somewhere between 108 to maybe 114 or 112 pounds, like not a whole lot. But because of her frame, if she loses a pound of muscle and gains a pound of fat, so the weight's the same, but the ratio changes, it shows up on her body immensely. And what I want to show you here real quick is the photo I took of her when she didn't believe me. And I said, "Hey, Helen, let me take a photo of your arm so I can show you." And I had to do that because, and again, we all go through this. So this is why I'm asked to share it. And that's why Helen's so kind to share it, because you don't know. Like we will never know until someone helps us notice the details. So here she is working out on the treadmill. And I took a photo of her arm. And yeah, like that was her arm. And what happened,
God.
I took that photo, I showed it to her on my phone, and I said, "Hey, this is what I'm seeing right now." And
I always cried.
It was yeah. And you know what? It's okay. Like I always, no matter how big the challenge is, I always tell my athletes, it's okay. It's okay, because in this moment, this is something that's going on, and we can choose either to make it better or just keep it the same. But at least we're acknowledging that there's a transformation happening in your body. Now, it's just whether or not you want that kind of transformation or you want something else, right? So again, the reason why I'm showing you this photo is because it's important to ask yourself, okay? When you are living your life, whether just sedentary or you're doing some fitness or you're doing consistent fitness, have you ever had a chance to give yourself the gift, and it really is a gift to me and Helen, it is, the gift of being able to recognize what are the changes that are going on in your body? What are they? Are you getting more toned in certain places? Are you losing tone in certain places? Are your clothes fitting the same way that they always have? Or are they starting to change where maybe it's harder to fit in certain clothes that you used to love to put on? Or maybe, like in Helen's case, you do have clothes, and I use clothes a lot because that's the common thing that comes up. Maybe you do have clothes that you wear and you can fit in them, and in certain angles they look great. But then in some other angles, maybe not so much. Like in Helen's case, she had said that dress on her husband's 50th birthday, she put it on, looked great in the front. but behind she was very unhappy with what she saw. This is really important because when we make change in our bodies, we can always rely on somebody else to tell us, well, this is what's good, this is what's not good. However, I find that we are our hardest critics, right? Like when I look at my own body through my own photos, I am really picky about how I look and how I feel. And I don't wait for someone else to tell me what I need to improve on. I'll take that photo and I'll look at it. And of course, I'll pat myself on the back for the things I do well. I believe that we have to give ourselves the pros and cons. But if there's something I don't like, my eyes will always deceive me. If I look in the mirror, it's really interesting. Like if I look in the mirror and I look at myself, I'll generally say, yeah, overall, I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm not competing to get on stage, so I'm not keeping my body fat as low as I would, as a competitor would, because I'm trying to live happy. So I want to be fit, but I want to be not so like ideally perfect, right? That's just me. But when I take a photo and I look at the photo, I'm like, wait a minute. Why didn't I see that when I looked in the mirror? Why didn't I see that? And this is what we want to share with you, that when it comes to boosting your energy, when it comes to boosting your power, when it comes to increasing your recovery, before you take that step, number one, if you haven't done it already, we want to suggest, take a photo of yourself in something like your favorite outfit. In Helen's case, it was the 2-piece bikinis that she wanted to wear on the beach eventually one day, which at the time she was not very happy to do. And then number two, no, not at all, right?
I gave up. Fair. I gave up my bikini.
At the time, before you had met me, yes. But once you did meet me and we started training, that's when the whole game changed, because it started to change here, right? And here's what I've noticed, folks. The biggest driver for most of us is when we see something of ourselves that we know is just natural, it's normal, but it's not something that we want to accept. It's when the brain goes, I will no longer accept this as part of my reality. And this is something I must change. Not because I have to, but because I want to. And because of calls and conversations like this, where we're showing you the transformations are real, it's when your brain goes, it's possible for me. And it's possible for me because there's someone like Helen out there showing that it's possible, even though there was a time when maybe she thought it wasn't.
Let me just add that to Ellen. Thank you very much.
Sure.
I think recognizing that I have a problem, I really have a problem, that's important to move. Before, I didn't believe you, or I didn't even believe myself. So not able to recognize that you do have a problem, then you started to find ways to make changes.
Right.
Recognizing I do have a problem now.
Right. And in this case, the problems are really just challenges. It's just, It's like there's the goal. There's just an obstacle in the way. What are we going to do to get over it, around it, under it, through it, to get to our ideal goal? Right. And in this case, me showing off the arm photo of how, thank you for not killing me for showing that. I didn't ask her previously because we've done it before. So I usually tell her what we're going to do for the day.
But honestly, sorry.
Go ahead.
No, honestly, in the past, I would feel so ashamed to share with anybody. But now I accept it. Right. So when I said earlier, recognize you have the problem and accept it, and then move on, right?
Right. Which is what leads us to today's conversation. If you're in that place where you're looking for the added boost, you're looking for the added energy, what we're going to share with you is what Helen has used in order to get her body to perform better, to create her results faster. And let's face it, at the gym, there's only so much we can do at the gym. Like if you know that you're working out as best to your ability, whether that's 5 minutes a day, 20 minutes a day, or an hour or an hour and a half, it's all based on your own physicality at this time. Well, if you know you're doing the best that you can, and you feel like your brain is going, I can do more, but I just physically don't feel like I can. What we've learned is that that's a signal. And that's a signal usually to add more nutrition to meet the demands of your next level of transformation and physical change. The staple products or supplements that Helen has used, once she said, okay, that's it. I don't want that arm fat anymore. I want to start looking and feeling fantastic. I want to start looking like when I walk up and down the street, minus the tan, like this is how I want to live. When Helen said, this is the body that I want to live with, okay? That's when everything changed, and that's when supplements became a necessity. Because when you look at her body, folks, like when you look at her results, please recognize, yes, it's a lot of hard work for sure. But inside that hard work is a lot of high-level nutrition that's been loaded to her body, so her body can transform the way it's meant to. And the three things that she ended up using that she mentioned earlier is, number one, she used a protein supplement. Now, depending if you're a vegan or if you're a vegetarian, it's important to look at what kind of protein supplement that you're using. And the ones that we use, like we're always changing our brands, but the one thing that's always the same is we always end up using a hydrolysate or an isolate protein. And I've talked about this in the first 1.0 series, where basically all that means is just a fancy term for saying that the protein powder itself has been so finely broken down that when your body when you drink it, a high percentage of that protein powder gets absorbed, usually within the first 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes, depending on your body type, right? So that's really important, because in comparison to a chicken breast, which is very common to eat as protein, when we eat a whole chicken breast, it takes at least an hour before the body even gets to start to use some of that protein as a recovery source to help rebuild the muscle tissue. Not to mention that if you need a certain amount of grams of protein per day, usually it's at least minimum half of your body weight. So let's say you weigh 120 pounds. It means that at a bare minimum, you need about 60 grams of protein during the transformation phase. Maintenance is a little different, but if you're looking to transform, the calculations that we've known and we've used to work best for our athletes is at minimum 50%. If you look at that ratio, 60 grams of protein, if one piece of chicken breast is roughly 20 to 25 grams, let's say it's roughly 20 grams, that means that you'd have to eat 3 chicken breasts a day, every day, 7 days a week, which for some people is like, yeah, no problem. But for some other people, it's like, oh my God, I don't want to eat that kind of meat. I don't want to eat that much meat all day. And I don't blame you. For Helen, I actually recommended for her not to eat meat every day and instead use the protein shakes, because she was working out so regularly that we needed her body to get refueled immediately after each workout session. So the first thing that we've talked about for the list today is protein powder. Okay, protein powder. The second thing that she mentioned was BCAAs, or branch chain amino acids. Branch chain amino acids. I'll throw up some pictures later on in the group so you guys can see this. But all branch chain amino acids is, think of electricity as an example of energy, and think of water. When you put electricity into water, it acts as a conductor and it spreads the electricity out really fast. When you're looking at protein as a whole, protein can be very hard for the body to digest. So adding more BCAAs to your protein intake, which usually we're supposed to be able to get from food, but again, depending on where you get your food from, it's really hard to get high quality food when today's food supply is, excuse me, like it's okay, but it's nothing in comparison to what it used to be. Like you live in Canada or you live in the United States, generally speaking, we have okay food, but if you compare it in terms of its nutrition, it's so low now that if you look at any athlete, I don't care if they play basketball, football, baseball, if they're a bikini competitor, whatever it is, all of them use some form of supplementation, not because it's a fad, but because when you look at someone who only eats fruits and vegetables and some meats, and then you look at someone who uses supplements, generally speaking, not in all cases, you get the freak person every now and then, but in most cases, the person that's using supplements can usually outperform the other person. They can usually recover much faster, and they can usually get results much quicker because the absorption, the nutrition level is so much higher in their body compared to somebody else that's just trying to eat it naturally all the time. And again, this is only based on our opinion from our personal experience. I've had some people try to do, well, Helen actually tried to do it completely in 2018. And the result of her 2018 experience was what you ladies just saw. You know, there she was 8 months later, roughly, working out 3 days a week. She was working out hard. Like she doesn't slack when she's in the gym. She gets mad at me when it's already an hour in and she's like, Alan, I'm not sore. Am I wasting my money here or what? She'll get in my face. I'm like, whoa, woman, whoa, please calm down. Like, I'm sorry you're not walking out in crutches right now. But she works out hard. So for her to work out that hard and still produce body fat told us right away that there was something missing. And 9 times out of 10, it's literally either just sleep. Like if someone doesn't sleep enough, the body doesn't have enough time to recover, or just the nutrition factor. Okay? So we talk about protein, we talk about BCAAs, and then the last part that she talked about was, what was your third one, Miss Helen?
Well, is it probiotics?
Probiotics.
Yes.
So probiotics, all that is just your body's ability to break down food and to be able to use the food, to be able to break it apart. So the parts of the nutrition that need to go in certain places in the body, probiotics help with the digestion process to break that down faster. Now, are we saying that you need that? No. Are we saying that if you're not getting the results that you want, if you're not getting the energy that you're after, if you're not getting the recovery that you believe you should be getting, since you're now seeing other people getting faster recoveries, if you're not able to get the recovery that you want, and you know that you're doing at least a stable amount of fitness for yourself, again, it could be 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, an hour, whatever. If you don't feel like you're getting that next level output, it may be a good time to start asking yourself, what are we putting into our bodies? Like, what are we eating daily? Mm-hmm. And is what we're eating and consuming daily, is it enough to support that next level of fitness that we want to chase after?
Yeah, definitely. Let me add a little bit to that, because when I started my journey, I have to eat more. I've never had to eat so much in my life. I didn't have to starve, right? So to put all this nutrient, protein, carb, fiber, you need something else to digest them for you better, right? In the past, I didn't have to eat all this. So right. Yeah, that's why for me, my probiotic work really well.
Absolutely. And you know what, folks? There's nothing to buy here. We don't sell any of these products. If we did, we would honestly tell you. But we have no commitment to any particular company, because we understand that companies change. Sometimes their product designs change. What we have a commitment to is you. And when we find something that works really well, we'll share with you the concept. Like if you really want to know what Helen uses specifically, just message her, okay? But when it comes to what we want to use, we're constantly finding different brands or different companies, because every year there's usually a lot of not so great companies out there that make good, natural, wholesome, nutritious supplementation to fuel our bodies. There's a lot of not so good ones out there, but there's always a handful of companies that are just not there just to make money, and they actually want our bodies to look and feel better, to become younger. And we've become really good at finding those companies because we're in the industry. Now for you actually don't even need to be in the fitness industry to find what's good nutrition out there for you when it comes to protein, when it comes to BCAAs, when it comes to probiotics. One of the simplest ways that we use is, before we go and purchase anything, we'll usually take the name of the company. If we find something, right? Let's say it's called Protein X. And all we'll do is we'll type into Google Protein X reviews. whatever the brand is that you find, if you add the word reviews at the end, Google, most of you know this already, but just in case for those that don't, Google will then use that search that you typed in, and it'll find every person that's ever written a review, good or bad, about that company, about that product. And then you can decide for yourself what other people are proclaiming has or has not worked for them. It's worked out very easy for us because now there's no guesswork. Like, there's so much hype when it comes to using supplements that sometimes it's hard to know, okay, what's good, like what's really good, and what's just good marketing. And we don't want you to get sucked into just good marketing because it's not always a good product. When you take other people's reviews, not just like 1 or 2 or 10, usually we'll look at something after there's at least 100 reviews in there. Because 100 reviews, I mean, you can fake it a little bit maybe, but most people don't want to spend the money trying to get 100 fake reviews out there. So when you find that there's at least 100 good reviews on any particular supplement, then you know, high probability that it's a good thing to use. So when you're looking for your own supplements to boost your energy, to increase your recovery, to give you better performance, definitely go online, look at some of the products that are out there, and type in the word reviews at the end so you can decide if those might be good for you as well.
Yes, definitely, Alan. And also, everybody's body is different. So if you find you're not getting the result, stop using it and go and perhaps talk to another professionals who have more experience in this area.
Right. And a really quick comment on when it comes to getting nutritional advice. I want to say this, and I say this respectfully, and I also say this in the context that I used to have this generalization that if I went to someone, let's say I went to my GP, let's say I went to a doctor, and I asked them about vitamins, and I asked them about protein, and I asked them about creatine or BCAAs, I found that a lot of them were unfamiliar. They had an idea of what that was, but they didn't know exactly what the quality was of those supplements. And the reason is because I found over time that certain doctors are trained and specialized in certain things. And a lot of times they're not trained on the natural supplementation side. They're more on the medicated side. Now, that's not bad or good, but it just means that when you go to get advice from someone, we find it best to go to someone who is already familiar with those types of supplements. Like, doesn't just know it, but really knows it. One of the guys who we take advice from actually went to medical school for a number of years, decided to pull out of medical school because he did not feel comfortable prescribing people medications all the time, and instead went to the natural side, opened up his own supplement store, and now helps people with all sorts of muscle problems or any type of fatigue, or they need help with sleep. Like, he's a really knowledgeable guy. And what he said is that sometimes it's better to go to other people who are using the supplements themselves and find out, like, how is it working for you? How do you feel? What's it doing for your body? As well, of course, is to mix it up with someone that has a health professional background and then merge those two as well. In other words, what we're really saying is we believe it's best not to just take the advice of someone else, but instead take multiple pieces of advice, gather that information for yourself, and you decide for yourself what works or what could work best for you. And if you get into that habit, which I believe that you're the type of person to do, we believe it, if you're the type of person to be here on this call, still listen in, still want this kind of information, then we believe you're the type of person who wants to make your own decisions, who wants to make your own answers. And if you're that kind of person right now, great. But if you're that also the kind of person that will look at someone who's like in a white lab coat and then just take everything they say, we want to recommend, it's just advice for all it's worth, that when we're talking about just transformation, consider the idea of you making your own decisions based on gathered advice. Okay, this is totally different if you're actually sick or ill or you need an operation. Like that's totally different category. But if we're just talking about tightening the muscles, feeling younger, looking healthier, having more energy for your life, well, maybe we don't need something so extreme. Maybe we just need some advice from people that are living it. And Helen is definitely one of those kinds of people that is a great example and a great person to learn from, right?
Well, it took me a bit of time to do research to see what really worked.
Right. And at the end of the day, was it worth it?
Of course.
That's exactly.
Look how I feel right now, like a baby.
Like a baby. You definitely have a lot of energy. Like, this is a woman who is still up at 10, 11 o'clock at night, reviewing videos, checking out her social media, responding to messages, and she's still lit up. You know, she gets up really early. She's got energy throughout the day. And sometimes it's hard for her to go to bed because her energy is so high. And that's the kind of energy that we want all of you to have for yourself, for your own life, for your own transformation. But to do that is going to be a mix of what you've now learned of targeted training with the right mindset, and now fueling your body to get to that next stage of your training. So,
thank you so much.
Of course. We want to wrap up this section with
the homework for tomorrow.
The homework for tomorrow.
Again, thank you so much, ladies. Hearing your stories, and it just touched my heart, and I'm so glad you ladies taking the time and effort.
Right. Well, no, we both do. Absolutely. I mean, if there's anything that we're starting to notice is that people are sharing more, and the details of the share are awesome. Like, it is getting harder and harder to pick winners because everybody is making these winner videos and posts that are phenomenal. Like, they're literally phenomenal. Like, we can see and we can feel the amount of effort that people are putting in to really share. And that's a big deal. I mean, the whole reason why we're all here is because it started with one guy named Dean who took his time to share his life, his story, that then panned over to us. And we got these great results. And now we're sharing that on to you, all because of one guy that started this trend. So sharing
challenge.
is a big deal. It is such a big deal. So we're so thankful that you take the time to do that. And we want to ask that you keep doing it throughout these 7 days. And even after the 7 days, we're going to leave this group open. So it's an open share for all of you. When you have little discoveries, you have little results, little wins, we want to see you. We want to know about it. So please keep sharing, okay?
And I also like the part, sorry, Ellen.
No, go ahead,
I wanted to thank you, all the ladies supporting each other. That, it's so nice to see, you probably don't know each other, but within the group, you're able to do that. It's amazing.
It is, absolutely. And we want to see that you keep doing that, which leads to our homework for today and the winner from yesterday's challenge. Homework first, winner after. Homework's going to be nice and simple, as it always is. We want to know for today's homework. Number one, what are you using for your own energy, for your own recovery? If you're doing some fitness right now, chances are you're using something, whether it's a supplement or it's a food, whatever it is. We want to ask that you share what you're using for your own energy, for your own recovery. Okay? And number two, we want to ask that you share that with as much detail as you can in a live video in the group. In a live video. Now, real quick, everybody's coming from a different background. Some people are really into fitness. And we just found out that some of them here are current and past fitness trainers. And some people here have no fitness training at all. And that's totally cool. Wherever you're starting, as simple or as complex as it is, please share it. There's no competition. There's no like one's better than the other. This is not even about that. It's solely about being able to take who you are, what you do well for yourself, or what you're willing to just go for, and just sharing it with the crowd, because we know that our voices can only reach so many people here. And sometimes it's just that one person, maybe your voice, that can impact one other person in this group who you might resonate with better than we do. And that's one of the main reasons why we keep asking for lives, is because as a whole, we're lifting each other up. And we see that. And it's super inspiring to see that everybody's helping and supporting each other here. It's phenomenal. So keep doing your lives, please. But that's all we want for today, okay? So you're gonna go live. You're gonna share a little bit about what are you using, whether it's water or a supplement. What are you using for your energy? What are you using for your recovery? Give us some detail on how that works well for you. And then hashtag it. Hashtag TA50 Day 4.
Again, it's not about winning the prize, but ability to share your story, and an ability also for other people to get inspired by your story.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And to entice you to share your stories, that's why Helen's so nice to keep sharing these prizes, which, by the way, yesterday's prize winner, and I got, just let me say real quick before you say who it was. For about 2 minutes, Helen kept saying, "This is so hard. Everybody's videos are so great. This is so hard. Like, it is so difficult. It's getting harder." And I agree with her. Like, it is getting harder to pick winners. And I'm not the one who picks. She picks. Like, I just give advice here and there, but she picks. And everybody's was so good, but she had to pick one. So today, Miss Helen picked amongst the sea of amazing videos, comments, posts, and shares. She picked.
Well, Ellen, we're moms, we're 50 years old. It's not about the little prize. Everybody who tried, everybody who came on live with videos are already winners, right?
Right.
So
Absolutely.
So, but we have to pick ones. And again, ladies, you ladies are all winners already. Okay, you guys all
Absolutely.
Ladies are all champions, leaders, and champions already.
Absolutely.
So, but we only have one prize to give away. So we decided yesterday's challenge winner, not challenge winner, but winner of yesterday's homework is Tina.
Tina, all right.
Her daughter came in.
Virtual
Yes,
high five.
very
Bang,
detailed.
bang,
Thank you.
bang, just like that. Well done, Tina. Fantastic. Yeah, you know what? The bringing in the kid was smart. That was it. That really hit home for Helen. They were all good, ladies. Remember?
Yeah,
that.
they were all good.
All of them were good, and it is getting so much harder to pick. But we're so happy. Number one for Tina, congratulations that you won. Helen will get in touch with you ASAP after this call so you can pick your prize. And everybody else, remember, you are still winning. Every single time you're here, every single time you're learning, you're growing, you're transforming, you're building your confidence to go after what you want and not just settle for what you think you can get. You are transforming and growing. And that's why we keep hosting these calls. So to close off, congratulations again to Tina and everybody else for being here, taking part. Do the homework for tonight because we want to select somebody else for tomorrow. And we're excited to see all of your videos by 10 p.m. this evening so we can pick the winner for tomorrow. Any last comments real quick, Ms. Helen?
No, but again, I feel very appreciative of all you ladies who took part. I seriously, when I watch your story, again, all your story touched my heart. And thank you.
Thank you so much, ladies. Have yourself a great afternoon, great day, great evening, whenever you're watching this or the live or recorded version. And we'll see you all on tomorrow's live call. Thank you again for taking part. Have a great day. Thank you, Helen.
Ladies, thank you.
Bye, everybody.